how thrilled I am. Anna Bey is an internationally renowned thought leader and instructor.
I don't know if I should keep the blog or not. What are you going to do instead? I think that you can never get enough support.
I've never seen 14,000 people on a webinar in my life.
And I mean, there are certain battles that I have chosen to be very honest about, where I believe that the man should be the provider and that we shouldn't pay 50-50. That's one of my, core beliefs as well.
Anna Bey. Oh my gosh, how thrilled I am to spend an hour with you having a conversation about elegance, femininity, all things wonderful. Thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for inviting me, Susie. I'm so happy to have this conversation with you.
Me too. I love talking about all of these things. I've learned so much from you, but I want to kick off with your bio. So everyone who maybe hasn't heard of you can know who you are. So I'm going to read it so I get it accurate. Anna Bey is an internationally renowned thought leader and instructor in the feminine self-worth and aspirational lifestyle space. Her passion for elegant personal development and vision of promoting life-scaling skills for women led her to create the School of Affluence and her current flagship course, Secrets of the Elite Woman, which I have taken. Anna empowers other women who dream of a better, more vibrant life and have a bias for action to achieve it without sacrificing their femininity or dignity. How about that for a bio? I love it. What it doesn't say, and this is interesting because it's how I found you, was your huge YouTube presence.
True. That's actually how most people find me these days.
I'm sure, because I was trying to think back how exactly I found you, and it must have been through just a very popular video. And Anna, I will tell you, your views, your subscribers, when I took your webinar leading into your course, Secrets of the Elite Woman, I've never seen 14,000 people on a webinar in my life. And I attend a lot of webinars and I run them myself. So what do you think it is that struck a chord with your work, elegance, femininity, and women all over the world with such volume? What do you think it is?
You mean specifically why so many people attended that webinar, or in generally why
your work?
I
mean, I would say, Anna, generally the field that you're in. I mean, I don't know anyone else in the modern elegance space. I know some women teach feminine energy, boundaries, etc. But specifically the world that you're in, I see it's just you. It's really you that's dominating it. So what is it, do you think?
Definitely. I think you hit it right in the spot. I am very unique in what I am very unique. It's very unique what I do with the mix that I do, basically. And of course, being unique as a person definitely helps as well. Like if you have a bit of, personality, an interesting character. And I mean, one thing that I know that my audience appreciates so much is, as an example, my honesty and my authenticity. I mean, it feels strange sitting and saying all these things about yourself, but I'm literally just saying it because my audience have been telling me this. Just a little FYI.
No, but I agree.
But because, I don't know, I always been very straightforward, very much, not going to beat around the bush, not going to sit here, waste your time and, paint a picture when in reality, I just want to say things how they are. It's bad. If it's good, it's good. But I think also adding a topic like elegance and femininity. And also I've been speaking loads about the affluent community. All of these subjects are quite popular subjects that I talk about, that I teach women about. And I do believe that, of course, there will always be people who also touch upon these subjects, but I have been doing this since 2012. So I was kind of first doing it. So when you are the first,
There's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth.
How long have you been creating content on YouTube?
YouTube, I started, I know exactly. So it was September, October 2018. I think it was September. And then I remember I hit 50,000 subscribers on Valentine's, February after. So my channel grew really fast. And then, today I am at 900 something K and
subscribers.
Yes, subscribers.
Ooh, yeah, I see your videos, the views that they get out of the gate, that subscriber count that you have. What do you think about modern elegance is particularly attractive to women all over the world right now? Do you think it's always been of interest, or do you think right now there's something special or, especially important about it?
Yeah, I think the current trend that we have with what I call um, what do you call the mainstream? The
Yes.
mainstream trend right now is to kind of, well, it's like the grunge trend in the 90s. Let's put it this way. Sweatpants are totally allowed everywhere, in restaurants, wherever you go. Now it's all about sneakers and be comfortable. And, it's okay if you look like you didn't brush your hair today, basically. You know what I mean? Like, we are living in this type of trend. And I think that does create an anti-trend in that sense, meaning that something like modern elegance start flourishing because not everybody's going to want to be looking like that or appreciate it. And I think it's for a reason as well why some people just don't. Sweatpants in a restaurant is definitely a pet peeve of mine, by the way.
But I love how honest you are about this, because sometimes, as an influencer, right? And I know there's different words that people use to describe themselves. Sometimes people are afraid to say, I don't like that if a lot of people are doing it, or this is what I stand for, or this is my opinion on this. And I feel as if with your honesty, that's also a real confidence that you have, because it's very easy to shy away or to even say, the 90s trend is not cool for me, with all these women who are paying attention. How do you kind of navigate that sometimes? Because I know that you get mixed feedback. I think anyone does who's out there in a consistent way, and it's to be expected. How do you kind of navigate that each day?
First of all, I choose my battles, and I always teach my women, my ladies, to always pick their battles too. And I mean, there are certain battles that I have chosen to be very honest about, like the fact that I am also a traditional feminist, where I believe that the man should be the provider and that we shouldn't pay 50-50. That's one of my, core beliefs as well. Also about elegance, etc. Sorry, what was I saying? I feel like
I know there's so much to dive into. I wanted to know how you navigate some of the feedback that you get.
Yes, the feedback. Thank you. So yes, definitely I do get backlash with regards to the, traditional feminism, with the elegance, etc. But, then there are other things that I never touch upon, like politics. When in reality, many influencers always, get into that area and take a stand in this and that and speak up about that and that. And that's something that I personally never do on my channels, and that's like a policy of mine. So I have chosen certain battles that are important for me, that I know also are important for my audience, and I kind of stay there, and I don't mind getting a few things thrown my way. To be honest, I believe that after a while you just get so used to it.
Anna, can I just say I'm very happy you're saying this, because I know a lot of people who are holding back so much. Maybe they want to create a book or start a podcast or be on YouTube, whatever it may be, and they hold back for that fear of any criticism. And I saw on one of your Instagram stories, which was I thought it was so funny and cool. You said that someone on your team said, "You're the most thick-skinned person I've ever encountered." So that thick skin of yours, because resilience is really however you use it in this world, resilience will help you. It will help you keep your momentum, move forward, be undeterred by critics, etc. Is resilience for you something that you've developed over time, or have you kind of always been this way?
I think that surely we could do a psychoanalysis on me and try and understand what led actually to that thick skin. But I do believe that honestly, it comes from experience, because I wasn't born this really confident person, etc. I think I inherited some of that traits from some of my parents. I have also, because of, pushed myself out there in the world, gained experience. Yes. With experience, you develop confidence. That's like the secret to confidence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we're so aligned in this way when I follow your work, because only action cures fear. There's no way kind of to work around it, right? Or to avoid it. You just gotta.
Exactly. And I mean, in the beginning of my, career as an influencer, I haven't, been so thick-skinned the same way I am today. I mean, I have now run my business since 2018. Definitely I have changed loads in just these, what is it, 2-3 years. But that's because of experience. Like, you have to go through rain and thunder and, you know, being slapped across your face in this whole process, but you get used to it. It's like you get comfortable with uncomfortable in the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, I agree. I'm not sure if you can see the sign behind me. It's not lit up because it's so bright in here.
Oh,
But
I see it.
Let It Be Easy. It's the name of my forthcoming book. And one of the stories I tell in there is about palm trees. One thing I didn't learn about palm trees till moving to Miami is that storms make them stronger. They bend, they bow, but they stay firm. Like, so only really palm trees and a few others, but they really survive hurricanes. And I was like, that is a metaphor for the human who goes through the storms.
It's true. It's a good metaphor, actually.
Just because you said thunder, I'm like, oh yes, okay, let's talk about the palm trees for a moment. So, you speak about confidence, which I love, is my favorite topic. What does authentic confidence mean to you? Because I know that you're willing, the way that I describe it is someone's willingness to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you're willing to be uncomfortable, right? So when you think about confidence and your authentic confidence, like what does it represent to you?
Well, I do think that, I mean, when we are insecure in general, when we lack confidence, I do believe like the first step is to fake it till you make it, right? And just like get confidence in whatever way you can, even if it's not like the real authentic, genuine confidence, but
Yes.
that will come, like that will come with experience. You know, you just have to take that first step and push through. And sorry, I keep forgetting what your question was.
Well,
this is what I have in mind.
No, this is exciting stuff. So the way that the fake it till you make it authentic confidence is how it's built. The way that I describe it, which is similar, is it's almost like the fake it till you make it, yes, but it's not even faking it, because you're faking it and then you become it, right? So
Yes.
So for example, if someone's like, I could never run a marathon, or I'm not a public speaker, it's like, go speak twice and just sign yourself up and run. Then guess what? You're a marathon runner and you're a speaker. There's nothing fake about it. You've done the things. So
because it comes from your experience. But you need to like push yourself through things. And I feel like today people are not doing it enough. They're too scared. They procrastinate around it because of the fear, or I think the issue is the fear of being uncomfortable, right? And one of the things that I think you notice in my course, Secrets of the Elite Woman, I had a part where it's all about get comfortable with the uncomfortable. There is no way around to get confidence or to get this or to get that. The way is always through that discomfort. And the faster you can buckle up and just enjoy that turbulent ride,
yes.
you know, and try not to think about it too much, because that's what we always do. We end up like overthinking everything. And
yes, I agree. And I also think that we should expect it, right? I think the problem is when we're like, this shouldn't happen. It's like, of course it will happen. It's okay to expect the rough with the smooth, right? I mean, blessings bring another side too. And I mean, for you to be around, even just since 2018, that's not a very long time. I mean, some people have their YouTube channel for a decade or more. So in 3 years, it's been a lot.
A lot.
in terms of your creation. What do you think, in terms of your content specifically, when you work with women, because you speak about that, having a transformation towards more elegance, more femininity, more beautiful life experiences, what would you say are the characteristics of the women who really get the most out of working with you? You mentioned in your bio a bias towards action. What else? Like for women who really go places with your work, what kind of qualities do you think they display?
I mean, I'm going to give some tough love now, because the thing is, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I was actually talking to a very close friend of mine who has followed me from, day zero or day when I was lost, single, had not met my husband yet, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, definitely didn't know what I was going to do career-wise, and I was talking to her, and she admittedly said that, I'm actually still at the same square as where you started from. I mean, surely she's been doing things along the way, but she said, she's like, I see many of my friends also being stuck there. Like, not much has changed in all these years since I have met you. And and she said to me, I see what the difference is. They're lazy. They're not taking action. they think it's going to happen easy, and they want the easy way out. And that's why they don't take the action necessary, or that's why they become lazy. When I say somebody's becoming lazy, I don't mean that something is wrong with that person, but I think it's a procrastination that we do, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's very easy.
Yeah, because we don't want to feel uncomfortable. That's all it is. Laziness is a procrastination.
I've experienced that too in my work, when someone will say, I'm confused, or I'm not sure where to start. I'm like, it's just a confidence thing in a lot of cases, right? Because we never know exactly what the right thing is. It's just, you try, you learn, you correct. The way that I love to approach it, and I'm not sure if you feel this way, is maybe not taking it all so seriously.
Yeah.
Because often it's like, it feels like a life and death decision sometimes. Should I post a video? It's like, yeah, post it.
Yeah. You know what? Also, like, I think we overthink things a lot. And I actually have a good example of it, because the way my business started was in 2012, when I started this blog called Jet Set Babe. And I was just blogging about kind of my high society experience, my interest in luxury lifestyle and that type of thing. And my blog organically grew. I mean, obviously not to the size of my YouTube channel today, but I did have an international big following. Then I hit a wall one day when I was very confused. Did I even want to continue on this journey that I was, so into? And then, so I needed to take a time out, and I took a time out. And then I came back and I realized, no, I want to continue with this. But I don't know if I should keep the blog or not. And then the big question was, okay, well, what are you going to do instead? Because I kind of didn't know what I was going to do instead. My whole idea was that I did want to turn that blog into a brand, into something. I didn't know whether it was going to be a course or a book or whatever, back then. This was many years ago now. And I reached a point where I started actually starting doing something else. Like I thought I was going to become this like self-improvement coach, like no niche at all, just like Anna Bey, self-improvement coach.
I'm always pro going for things over not. Yeah.
And then I started thinking, I'm like, but I have this audience, I have this blog. Why am I overthinking it? Why am I not just doing that? And that's when I took the decision, you know what? I'm going to continue with this, even if I didn't think that then that Jet Set Babe was going to be the only thing I would do for the, rest of my career. But I allowed myself to, what, let's not be a perfectionist here. Let's just like continue doing it and then just see what comes out of it. So what came out of it in 2018 was that I started School of Affluence, and then my course, and, so we never know what we're going to be doing like in a year or 2 or 3. Like something else can come out of the idea that you have today. You just cannot overthinking it or think that you will have all the answers today or when you start.
Dare I say that is a let it be easy? Don't overthink it. I mean, this is kind of what I come back to so much. It's like, if there were an easy way, what is it? What can the next step be? Because like you said, it's so easy to almost be paralyzed and just say, oh, what about this? What about that? But I had this blog, and it has to be completely consistent and perfect. Well, messy is okay too.
Yes.
Right.
And the thing is, like, you are going to maybe change things around along the way a little bit later. You don't have to have all the answers immediately. That's something that I must say, because I see so many women or people in general to get stuck before they even started because they're just overthinking everything.
Yes. So we agree on this. Just go.
Let's do it. And do whatever that comes to your head.
Don't overthink it. Oh my gosh, this is like a prayer. Now, in the work that you do, Anna, you speak a lot about, 3 things actually that I'd love to ask you about today. One is boundaries. One is self-awareness, critical, and the other is feminine energy. Okay. So you say that boundaries are, I think that's actually the first step in your training to the secrets of the elite woman. Elite women have boundaries. And I know that you have your own firm boundaries, which I think are great in your business and life. What do boundaries represent to you, and why are they important?
So I think the whole idea with boundaries, or not idea, but came really from my strong feeling, because I'm a strong feminist in my core, and I really do see how society just, men have boundaries, men have stronger boundaries than women. And I think that was the first kind of seed that got planted in my head. And then I started like looking into boundaries more and learn more about it. But I do see that women, like, we actually need to be continuously reminded that it's okay to set boundaries, that it's okay to choose yourself first, and all of those things. And that kind of goes hand in hand with what I teach about femininity, because it's also a little bit about setting boundaries and to allow yourself to be a woman and step into your feminine energy, and maybe not exhaust yourself and always be the man in the relationship and things like that. So yeah.
One thing that I love that you said, which I've repeated, is that, as a woman, I think specifically, we can take on many burdens.
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to go, I'll do that. I got it. You need help? I'm there for you. Need a ride to the airport? I've got you. What time? Like, it's very easy to please. And, I think the reason we're scared to say no, if we really broke it down, it's we want to be liked. We don't want anyone to think that, that we're not awesome and not agreeable and, just so simple and easy to always have access to. So, when it comes to like rejecting burdens and having those kind of boundaries in place, are there any kind of rules that you follow? Is it more of an intuition? Are you like, that doesn't feel good? Or these are just the policies that I have and it's simple because there's no thinking?
I do think that you always have to ask yourself first, like, is this on an expense of myself? Like, do I want to do this, generally speaking? Like, you always have to help yourself. How can I say? Help yourself first before you can help others, right? Or I don't know how that saying goes.
Yes. It's the air mask, or whatever it's called, the face mask, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is boundaries in the end of the day. And I mean, I do follow a bit my intuition, but I do know that having kind of done a lot of work in boundaries myself, I do know that in the beginning, it's really hard to know, am I setting too much boundaries now? Am I being too nice now? Like, it's really hard in the beginning to understand the balance. But I do really believe that you really just have to trust yourself, that you are, you're a kind person, you're an ethical person, and you cannot be dependent on what other people think or approve of you. And I think that's the basis of boundaries, because if you're too obsessed about what people think or if they approve of you, then it's very hard to set those boundaries.
And how does this play into or dance with feminine energy? Because what I really enjoyed is, so my husband and I work together. He's my COO, right? But it's Susie-more.com. It's my name, it's my brand, so to speak. And that's an interesting dynamic, right? Certainly not traditional. And you spoke about feminine energy in life, in business, when there were questions. How do boundaries fit and dance with feminine energy?
Well, I think as a woman, you do need to set boundaries for yourself in your relationship, so that you're not just pleasing him all the time.
Yes.
You have to actually choose yourself, and whatever setup you might have. Every family have different setups. Maybe you have a traditional setup, but then okay, so then I will look after the kids more, let's say. But if let's say you are on a very 50-50 setup, then you really need to make sure that he does his part with the kids too.
So I think what women will sometimes think, if boundaries aren't feminine, like I've got to be the nurturer, I've got to take care of everybody, that's my job. But I feel like it supports your femininity, right? Like, boundaries allow you to have the energy to be yourself. And I think that, without boundaries, those kind of little seeds of resentment can be planted with friends, with family, with work, with everything. And that doesn't feel so elegant.
No, because I mean, resentment comes from you not expressing yourself clearly or properly. I think, the fault is maybe not everybody else. The fault is actually that you are not putting boundaries enough.
And I think that's something that is surprising, right? Because sometimes we think the world will demand it from us and we have to show up and we have to be available and whatever it may be. But you're saying that it has to start with us.
It has to. We need to take responsibility for ourselves. And I think that we sometimes think that the problem is everywhere around us. I mean, surely there is a lot of problems around us, but I think once we take responsibility for how we feel about, ourselves, let's say our boundaries, our confidence, our femininity, I mean, there's so much we could do, and once we do that, then I think a lot change. But I mean, I am very much pro therapy, as you probably know.
Oh, yes.
That's something that all my followers get to hear loads about. But I do believe that every human out there should go to therapy. And honestly, that's how you take proper responsibility for yourself.
I agree. And I'm pro therapy too. And I think that a great thing that a therapist and or a coach will do is really put the obligation on you to improve things, to stop things, to welcome new healthy things in. So I love how you talk about it, how you're saying how much it's helped you, because which kind of leads really nicely into self-awareness. So I think even just boundary setting requires some self-awareness, because we have to be aware that we don't have them, or we have ones that aren't working. Would that be right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you go to therapy, you will end up learning self-awareness by nature.
Yes.
Usually those who really don't want to go to therapy is because they struggle with self-awareness. It's difficult for them to be in touch with their own emotions or see themselves in a flawed way. And I think, to develop self-awareness, you need to have a lot of courage for that. But also, I guess, the willingness of taking responsibility for the things that might not be so perfect in your life. And I think, courage of allowing yourself not to be perfect. And that's, by the way, something I also talk loads about on my channels, that as elegant ladies, we don't strive for perfection, because I think one of the things that people confuse elegance with is like perfectionism. But I really don't believe in it. Like, I do like a little bit of flaws. But yeah, it's more about like polishing up the bad habits. Anyway, now I went a little bit off topic.
But I love this, because self-awareness, and I think there was an exercise that you asked us to do in your course, where you asked for feedback.
Yes.
Right, from your friends. And I did that, and I gave some feedback myself. Yes, I did.
Yay.
I asked for it first, and I'm like, and as a good coach, would you be willing to hear some? May I offer you something? And it's so interesting, because I feel like, self-awareness, it's not obvious, right? We only see things from the inside, from ourselves, but a loving, honest friend can open your eyes to certain things. One thing, Anna, that I got as feedback was, and this is from 2 different friends that I trust, is in conversation, I can go a lot of different ways. And I've got lots of stories. Don't finish it, jump along. It's just, the feedback was like, just to slow down a little bit. And I know a friend of mine, I gave her some feedback. She's the youngest of a lot of children. She speaks very loudly.
Yeah.
It's not conscious. And I said, I love you. You speak, I love what you have to say. You're always so funny. Sometimes the volume's a little high. She was completely surprised. She had no idea. And you said that I believe, used to be like rough with things, like picking things up, which is just like a bit of a rough habit. But I'm sure someone told you. Did someone tell you?
Yes, someone told me at meditation retreats when they were sharing a room with me, and they got so upset about that. And anyway, that person ended up liking me very much, but apparently I annoyed the life out of her,
Because you were being loud, probably.
Well, I didn't know that every time I open a door or close something, it actually makes a lot of noise. And that's something actually I have inherited from one of my parents, who also is the same way. So that's why I never knew that I had this.
It's so funny. It's so funny how when we learn about ourselves, but I think it's important, the source that you ask, the person you go to. Like, you have to trust the person who's speaking to you, that they love you, that they want good things to you. But what a generous exercise. Right?
Yeah, that exercise actually got born. I mean, I'm going to give you a superficial example now of one of the times when I wish my friends would have told me the feedback, earlier. But I have currently hair extensions, right? And my hair is very thin and always get very damaged and looks very dry. So I remember I was once, I don't know, dancing or doing something, and my friend was just like filming me as I was dancing along, or doing something. And then when I was watching that video, and I saw myself like 360 when I moved around, and my hair like barely moved because like the ends were so dry and it was so horrible. And I looked at her, I'm like, why you never told me that this is how I look from the back and from the side, So from that day I said, okay, this is basic 101. Everybody needs to do this.
Friend feedback. Tell me about my hair. Tell me if my dress is tucked up. Tell me something.
Yeah, and I got hair extensions since, and my hair is really nice now, even on video.
Oh, so that was with your natural hair. Okay.
Yeah, my natural hair, yes.
So if someone, was thinking, because you're very open about your transformation, you speak about all the different bits and pieces that you've done over the years to yourself physically, work that you've done on yourself internally in therapy, etc. If someone was thinking, gosh, I want to upgrade, I want to become more elegant, I want to step more into my own boundaries and confidence and femininity, where do you say like the best place to start is? I mean, of course, your channel, but, but where would you say, okay, well, the most important couple of things to know in the beginning are?
Well, first the first is to define what your goals are and why you want to kind of, upgrade. Is it for a specific goal? Let's say some women, they want to upgrade more because of professional reasons.
Yes.
They want to have that promotion in life, or for some, it's because they want to, get married and find a husband of their liking or something like that. Whatever it is, I think it's really important to be clear on what it is that you want to do so that you know in what direction to walk. Because for not everything, everything is going to be important, if that makes sense. So I think that is step number one. And I mean, step number two is to just, go and buy my course.
You have so much free content. I mean, so I know you opened the doors to your course periodically, so we need to stay tuned for those. But I think that your just generosity of content is also so helpful, because not only do people love and learn from the content that's just available on YouTube, etc., but it's really an introduction to you. And I think that it gives people a way of accessing maybe a part of themselves that they hadn't thought of before, or thinking about transformation and upgrades for them. And it looks, different for everybody. What's your, because sometimes I speak to different entrepreneurs and they're like, oh, I don't really want to give too much away or share too much for free. And I mean, I'm of the belief that generosity always wins. Like generosity generates so much success. What do you feel about that? Because you have a video every week?
Yes, every Sunday I have a video. And indeed, I think, this is how I see it. First of all, my subject really touches a lot of different things: beauty, makeup, hair, physical, inner, mindset, relationship, lifestyle. Like, I am in a very broad niche in the end of the day. So I'm not going to run out of content in a very long time. Let's put it this way.
Yes.
And surely there's so much that I don't talk about on my YouTube channel that I think is more appropriate for a course, because sometimes you actually need to go really deep on something in order for the person to understand it and be able to implement it. So on my YouTube channel, I rather post like more lighthearted things, more maybe a little bit more easygoing things. Like, I see it more like educational / entertainment, versus in my program, it's all in educational, very deep, very focused, very organized. And you don't get that on my YouTube channel.
And when it comes to creating your content, because I know that a lot of people say to me, oh, what do I say? How do I keep coming up with ideas consistently? And I see your content just drop regularly. And it doesn't seem to me that, what am I going to do a video about is a question that you like struggle with. How do you, how do you keep your creativity kind of rolling? And how do you how does it just seem to keep flowing, and just the ease of the creation? How is that so simple for you?
It's not always so simple. And by the way, I have had the content creation burnout or block, writer's block, and definitely that was always in relation with being overworked and too stressed, when your creativity just shuts down. And that started to worry me. And I had it like a few times, and then I just really took action and paused everything, because for me, without my creativity, I don't have a business. Without my creativity, I will not have any followers. Everybody will unsubscribe, So I really need to nurture that. And that's why I talk a lot on my channel as well, because it's also linked to femininity, is the importance of self-care. And I think we are in a very, popular time where everybody talks about self-care, but it's not for no reason. We need to have that exercise every day, or the healthy eating, or, I don't know what is self-care for you. Maybe it is to read a book or take a bath or something like that. But it's really important to schedule something in, at least like something small every day, to give your head that headspace to take a time out. And I feel like in those moments, creativity starts blossoming up again.
Whether you like it or not, it just comes back when you're rested.
Yes.
A friend of mine said that recently. She's like, I'm feeling really burnt out, which is also a very common problem right now. I think whether you're an entrepreneur or not, it's just, all the things, right? No one's going to stop us from taking on all the burdens,
Especially women.
Yeah, especially women.
Women are more burned out than men for, why.
Yeah, all the responsibilities. And then I was even reading something I can't even remember, it was a finance publication about women are still doing the majority of the unpaid work at home, even in quarantine when everyone's working at home. So I completely, I understand. When it comes to the content that you're creating and releasing, do you feel like that's just an intuitive hit that you get, or do you kind of have a plan? I think in my mind, I'm like, everyone else has like a 12-month content plan. And they're so organized. And I'm like, I'm just going to go with what feels good. Where are you in that?
Well, I'm more like you. And so I don't know, I'm an Aries, by the way, if anybody believes in zodiacs, but this is a very typical Aries trait, to be more impulsive, not to like to plan too much. And I am very much like that. I like to just get an idea and just do it and post it immediately, because I don't have patience to wait. So that's kind of how I have been operating. And unfortunately, it's not a healthy way of running a business. And my team, I drive them crazy like that, because they want planning. And by the way, I only hire people in my team who are really organized and loves planning, because that's the opposite of me.
Yeah, well, that's a great tip. Hire the opposite of you.
I would never hire me.
You're unhireable.
No, for creative work, I would totally hire me, but not for the planning and everything. We are trying to be better at planning our content, like months and months in advance, but it's hard. I'm going to be honest.
And even in saying so, I feel this is a real permission giver. So Anna's like, oh, I'm not that organized. I drive my team crazy. And still there's a video every week, a lot of views, a lot of engagement. I've seen your comments. There are so many benefits that people receive in terms of their own confidence, what they believe is available for them, the inspiration, it's there. So so a little peek behind the scenes with Anna, she's not organized all the time. There's not this 12-month content calendar. I know what I'll be doing on October 17th, that video. It's what it is, and you're going with it. And it's, even though you may want to change it and plan differently, it still works.
Yeah, but we have missed so many good video ideas and everything because I'm not organized, like Valentine's. Oh, forgot it was Valentine's. Yeah, we should have done something about dating, like that type of thing.
Yes. Interestingly, Anna, this is how it works in the media too. There's a schedule of like holidays. For example, Mother's Day is a great, set holiday to create content around Valentine's, for sure, but also so many other things. There are ways that we can set ourselves up for it to be a little easier. Even just, in one of my programs, I give a media calendar highlighting all the American holidays, because it's different per country, but a lot of them are the same. For example, but Mother's Day is different in the UK versus America, for example, but it just gives you ideas for what's coming up to allow yourself to be supported.
Actually, that's a really good thing. I like that perk. Get that to me after.
I sure will. So when it comes to feeling supported, because I know that you have a team and you outsource as much as you can and hire people who aren't like you, very wise.
Yeah.
When I interviewed once Sarah Blakely, who's the founder of Spanx, she, I think she's one of the first self-made female billionaires.
Oh, lovely.
She said that if she can do something, if someone else can do something 80% as well as her, she'll outsource it. She's like, so she can focus on her vision, international growth.
It's really good.
What's your policy with support? Do you feel like you have a lot of support? Do you have just what you need?
I think that you can never get enough support. So even though I have now a team, I don't know how many we are, maybe 10 people, maybe 10. But then we have also like project-based contractors. So I don't know in total how many we are, but we are a big team, but still it doesn't feel enough. Like, I don't think it ever feels enough. And that's the problem as an entrepreneur. Like, you think you're going to end up working less, but you actually never do. unless, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that it's just a great thing to understand, because often people think, oh, if someone's got a big channel or what have you, they're really miraculous and they're doing it all alone somehow. You have support. Support is good.
I do have support, because in the beginning I didn't, and I definitely started getting burnout, and then health issues came, and then you'd realize that this is not a sustainable way of living. Things have to change, and that's it. And I think it's worth it. Like, for me, I'm not doing this what I do because of money. I'm really doing this because I enjoy it. So I would really like to enjoy the process and not be overworked, or never see my husband and that type of thing. It's not worth it.
Well, and sometimes it's easy to get lost, right? Because you think, there's a reason we start a business, and it's because we care, right? But there's stuff that we want to teach and share and help. But then it can turn against us. It can turn against us unless we're conscious.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is where your self-awareness, boundary.
That's actually what I just wanted to say.
Well.
Exactly. It's all about self-awareness and just putting on the brake when it's needed. And I also, to be honest, like, I've seen a little bit like other entrepreneurs. Sometimes people have a bit of a cheaper mindset, where they don't want to do it. Like, they don't want to spend extra on people. I mean, surely some people are fear of taking the risk, but there are many solutions for that. But I think people don't understand that actually it's an investment in your business. And if you hire cleverly, it's going to be a bigger return on your investment than if you sit and do everything yourself. Plus, it's an investment in your health and well-being. So.
Yes. And you've been open that you've had some health challenges in the past, or in the recent, not so much in the past, like, relatively, I think this year or last year. When it came time for you to focus on yourself, what was your, how did you approach that? Are you like, okay, I'm first, I'm going to clear my calendar, have a break? Like, how did you manage that? Because I feel like there's a lot of women who in my community who are like, I couldn't have I'll have a break when I hit this financial goal, or I'll have a break when this, something big happens, but I can't have it yet. Like, what would you say to somebody who's feeling that way?
I mean, the way I kind of dealt with this was that for me, it was so difficult to like switch off and really take proper days off. And so instead, I really stepped into the mindset of, okay, I'm really allowing myself now to switch off, and I'm not going to be, working a little bit later in the afternoon, or, trying to fit it in anyway, and to just fully go all in on days or times when you're supposed to be off. I think that's really important. And that has helped me to really disconnect from the stress.
So, and on your days off, are you phone free, or like, are you everything off, or?
No, I'm not phone free, but I'm never the type of person who is that much on my phone. Like, even though I'm an influencer and you think that we're on our phones all the time, when, let's say, when we're traveling, I'm actually quite mindful and quite good with these things. Sometimes I get even lazy and I don't feel like opening my phone.
So less tech, breaks, I'll sneak in an hour of work later after lunch, before the movie or whatever it is. It's truly a switched off day. Are you like, okay, Sunday is my day off, Sunday and Monday, or Thursday and Friday? But it's kind of like that for you, the white space in the calendar.
Yeah, I do try to take Saturday and Sunday off. The only problem is that we always publish the YouTube video on a Sunday. So I never, get a full day there, but at least I get most of the day.
But you feel now, true, like after coming back from not feeling so well, having your break, that this is something that's clearer for you, like you have even stronger boundaries for yourself? Because I feel like the body tells you what it needs, whether you like it or not, right? Your body will be like, I know what you need. Exactly.
But I also think that it's important to be able to when you outsource, to actually delegate work to the people that you work with. And I think that has been also a lot of trial and error for me, because sometimes you think that you should be doing XYZ, when in reality, actually you have people who are there to help you with XYZ. Like it's time to let go. And
yes.
that requires training on its own.
But also action cures fear. How do we get there?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
only through the doing. I mean, your action taking is, I mean, it's so visible. You create so much, no overthink. Well, from what I understand, no overthinking or very little overthinking. Action wins. I mean, I think that you say this too, right? Like action is, even if it's messy, even if you don't get the wanted results,
Yeah.
stay
I
at
mean,
it.
going back to what my friend said when she said that, her friends were lazy or whatever, but it's really about who takes action and who doesn't, or who gives up along the way, or, it's really just about action. I don't think there is a secret formula, and neither do I think that it's about luck. I do believe that we create our own luck when we take action. So the word is action.
Action. Oh my gosh, Anna, where do people find you, follow you? Like if someone is new to you or they want to, check out your work, where shall they go for after this?
Well, I would definitely swing by my YouTube channel.
Yes, Anna Bey, Bey.
Yes, Anna Bey. You can swing by my Instagram account as well. It's Anna Bey there too.
Yes.
Yes, you can also visit annabey.com or schoolofaffluence.com. So it's all up to you.
You've got a few treats there, my friends. You've got some YouTube, some Instagram. I will say, Anna, your Instagram stories are very enjoyable to watch and very funny.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you like my sense of humor.
Absolutely. And I think too, one thing that I enjoy when I'm observing you is when you see, again, an influencer, these words can all be interchanged, but we kind of want to see the real person, right? Because again, sometimes people think, I need to come across as like the perfect mom if I've got a course on, being an organized mom, and it's like, we kind of want to see the behind the scenes a little, right?
Yes, exactly. That's why, I mean, a truly confident person will give you that, because otherwise we're insecure and we really try to protect ourselves, our image, and because we just don't want to be judged, right? But I feel like at this point, I mean, I've been so judged. You cannot get more judged than I have been, because of course I provoke a lot of people with the elegance, with the traditional feminism and everything. So like I'm so used to it, and I actually do enjoy to show my flaws, how bizarrely it sounds, but I enjoy it because I know that when I do it, it means something to somebody out there. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, and I also think it's generous to. One thing that happens if I get a mean comment, often, people just mean, people who don't know you, it's to be expected. I leave the mean comments, because I think if someone sees my mean comment, they might feel less bad about getting a mean comment.
Yeah.
Because it's just what happens. You put out something, there's going to be people who don't like it. A lot of people will be completely indifferent. Some people will love it. But also the not so nice comments, they're allowed to be there too. They're allowed to live there. Their impact on me is really up to me.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But do you let them stand, the negative comments?
No, because I have built a channel that is based on positivity, and it's very important in my work, especially since it's so connected to elegance. And I know that the women who are, the 99% of women who love me and follow me, and they're there, to upgrade themselves and have a transformation. Why should I leave all the negativity there that is just gonna, how can I say, like, I want to show them the positive side,
Yes.
in the sense that they don't have to scroll through a bunch of non-important things.
And unrelated in a lot of cases.
Exactly, that's the word, because ultimately what people do when they spew hate is that they need to release negative energy that they have within themselves. So they go, let's say, on my platform and spew it there and release it there. And I don't think that I should be keeping it there. Like, it's not a place for it.
Yes.
So we do loads of housekeeping. And I really want to keep my elegant space nice and tidy.
Yeah. So when we go there, it's nice and clean when we consume it, and it feels healthy and good. But for anyone who thinks that maybe you don't get any because they don't see any, it's just
no,
not true.
I get loads. I mean, I do get loads, but actually I've also noticed that when you do so much housekeeping, like I have a 24/7 customer service team who takes care of that. Actually, they see immediately the people who leave the stuff, that immediately their stuff gets deleted. That actually I've noticed that my hate comments have reduced loads.
Interesting. Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe it's because of that, or maybe not. Who knows? But I know that many people, they have different strategies in terms of leaving the hate or not.
I think that you're also, frankly, even more organized. Like, you just got it got it down, right? Got your team, love it, and that's your policy. I love it, and I think it's again so healthy to share what the truth, like the full story, because I think people are so afraid, and not even just in business but in life, to have a one mean word, once someone who doesn't like something, and when you're like, it happens all the time. You're still alive and well.
Yes,
still alive and well.
That's the thing. I think I don't know why people find that this hate hurts. I think the only time it hurts is maybe if they say something that you might think is true, right? But for me at this point, I don't like the hate that comes in. Okay, if you think that I'm ugly, well, I don't think that,
Yes, I got a comment where someone said that I look like a man. I mean,
really?
You get some, and it's a really low level kind of comment. I mean, it's one thing to get some constructive, but it just happens, friends. And again, like you said, confidence. I'm willing to receive the comments. I'm willing to be uncomfortable. I'm willing for people to not like me. That, for me, that's what confidence really represents, authentically.
Exactly, because if somebody says, like, gives you a hate comment about something that you know is true, but you have accepted it within yourself and it's fine, then you don't care anymore. You see, so I think it's about acceptance, having that confidence, and that's what it is.
Acceptance. Oh my gosh, Anna, thank you so much. What a conversation. I love speaking with you. I love being part of your world. Also in your A-list now, your new app.
Oh, yes.
So
welcome to the A-list.
Thank you. It's so much fun. And that, once again, follow Anna's YouTube channel, Instagram, Anna Bey, B-E-Y, and also annabey.com. And you're going to be letting us know what's coming up for you, new exciting launches, products that you're going to be making available in the hopefully coming months.
So follow me on Instagram. I think that's when I announce everything first-handedly. So yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Anna Bey. So much love to you. Thank you.